Aho, it's Ruben here, and in this video I'll show you how I allowed myself to become worth 7,000 euros in just one simple technique. So, when I was a couple years younger, I was running a business in which I was selling trainings to companies to make sure that their communication skills would improve. My trainings would be 7,000 euros, and when I started with this company, I sold nothing in the first year. Well, I sold some individual coachings, but I didn't sell any of these trainings, even though I went to many companies to, offer it and show the product and tell them about it and sell it to them. But they didn't buy. And the reason that they didn't buy, even though first I thought it was all my sales techniques and the way I was talking about it, no, that was not it. It was actually my perception and my mindset of the fact that I was thinking that I was not worth that 7,000 euros that my training cost. So in my communication and in the way that I presented myself, there was this energy just coming across to the owner of the other business that I was not sure that I was worth that 7,000 euros. And so every time, even though they were somehow excited about my training and they saw the value of it, eventually they ended up not buying it. And so throughout the year, I became more and more frustrated about it and that I was not able to sell. And it made my self-worth even go down further. I saw myself going to these sales conversations and just saying the wrong things, stammering, not knowing what to say. I saw in my head visualizing that the owner would be like, no, I don't want your product. It doesn't suit me. It's not right for me. And I would just have all these negative thoughts before I would run into a sales conversation, a sales meeting. And so I started noticing how negative I became towards going to these meetings. And I was like, wait, but I'm teaching positivity and positive communication in this training. So how does that make sense? It does not. So I decided I need to go and change my perspective on these things. And whilst I was changing my perspective on these things, I noticed. That's when I actually noticed my negative thought processes. And so the first step to being able to, change our perception on something that we think we are worth or something that we want to achieve is to realize that we have an obstacle that's in the way. So part of this superhero journey, we have already taken the step of making that dream more vivid and alive, right? We have that dream in our minds, what we want to achieve. And now we're going to be taking actions to achieve that dream that we have, but we're going to run into some kind of an obstacles. I had the dream of being a very successful entrepreneur with a successful training business that, sells this training to many companies. But then I ran into the obstacle of actually not believing that I'm worth that 7,000 euros. And therefore I was not selling. And so I'm sure that you have some kind of an obstacle when it is with your business or with your partner or with working out. You have this goal of, I want to work out, I want to get fit, but you're not actually putting in the time and the effort in working out because, well, you feel some kind of a blockage. When you think about working out, you think, that's so tough, it's so horrible. And because you have those kind of thoughts, maybe they're first in the subconscious level, in the background, and because you have those kind of thoughts, you're not actually going for the workout. So the first step is to realize that you have these kind of negative thoughts towards the thing that you want to be achieving. So you sit down and you evaluate, okay, if I'm thinking about the thing that I need to be doing to achieve my goal, what is blocking me right now? What is blocking me to achieve that? Or, you just start taking action on it and then you suddenly notice that blockage. And you just stay very aware and conscious of it. You'll feel that somewhere inside of you and you'll notice, oh, okay, this is this pain inside of me that I'm having. Now, that's the awareness part. Awareness of what blockage you have. But then you want to focus on, now you know what you don't want, now you want to focus on what is it that you do want. And this is a crucial step. Because when you say, I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to feel negative. I don't want to have a bad feeling towards this. Then what you're reaffirming in yourself is that negative thing, because your subconscious doesn't know, um, and how do you call that, a negative? Like, so if you're saying I don't want this, then you're calling more of that into your life. So I don't want to feel bad when I'm working out. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to feel that I'm not worthy enough. Then all you're focusing on is that unworthiness. That's what you're vibrating out. You know, if I tell you to don't think about a woman with like super hairy face and like yellow eyes. Yeah. Not such a tasty picture, is that? And so I'm sure many of you have done that technique and realized that, but it's very crucial that it comes into your system in such a deep way that every time you speak out what you don't want, you put your energy on that thing. And so we want to change that. We want to say, okay, you become aware of what you don't want, and as soon as you become aware, you switch your focus to the things that you do want. And so this is what I did to change around my company in a year of not being able to sell anything. The entire year of 2017, I wasn't able to sell anything. And then in the end of November, I learned this new technique that allowed me to actually change around my mindset so that I started enjoying these sales conversations more. And then within 2-3 months, I sold 35,000 euros worth of trainings. Suddenly it shifted. Suddenly it just shifted. And so this is what I did. Every morning, I woke up, and before I started going into my work, into my sales calls and into my sales meetings, I would stand on a trampoline. I actually had a trampoline, 1x1 trampoline in my office, and I would be jumping on that trampoline, and at the same time I would have like music playing. I've already made a video about this. I would have music like the Lion King playing, like and I would just allow myself to vocalize that so that I would get more strong and into my power. And then after that, and in the Lion King, there's this part of the song where it's just like melody and sound, not really much singing. And so in those moments, I would actually, sorry, in those moments I would actually get my A4 paper in which I had written out exactly what my future scenario would be like. So if you have done your superhero dream meditation, if you haven't, go check that out first. Then you will get a clear visual and clear picture of what is that thing that you are creating into your life. What is that dream that you're wanting to achieve? And the following step is that you take an A4 paper, you start writing out exactly the things that have happened because you have realized your dream. All the things that you have achieved, all the things that came into your life because you have taken the steps to achieve your dream. And so when you start writing that all out and getting more pictures, you start feeling that state. So I would be jumping on my trampoline, and I would have written out this A4 paper with everything that I had achieved. I would be jumping on the trampoline at the same time. I would be like speaking it out loudly. So I'd be speaking out something like, I see myself standing on a stage in front of 1,000 people, being able to inspire these people on a deep, deep level, changing their lives, being able to see them go home with like a new like glintstring in their eye, being so happy. And because I'm so successful in giving these trainings, I'm able to travel the world. I'm able to enjoy, going to Bali, going to Thailand on a regular basis, living wherever I want, meeting the most amazing, successful people that have all sorts of nice, amazing insights that I can grasp, I can hold on to. And so whilst I was reading that out, I started feeling that power and energy inside of myself. And so can you. And the more vivid and the more clear and the more detailed you make it, the more intense you'll start noticing that emotion is. So you've done your dream meditation. Then you go ahead and you write out, what is my obstacle? And then, okay, if that's what I don't want, what is it that I do want in relation to my dream? And you start writing that out on the A4 paper. If you don't have a trampoline, that's okay. You can jump up and down. You can bounce on your bed, whatever it is that you like. The reason that I advise you to do something like bouncing is because this bouncing movement, it connects your left side of your brain with the right side of your brain, which means that you're connecting the logical part of the goal setting that you've been doing with the emotional part of the desire and the intensity of the emotion, which is a crucial part for you to be able to actually feel that desire, as I've already explained in the dream meditation. And from there, you're going to be able to create the space for yourself to take that daily action that you need to be taking so that you can achieve your goals and not be blocked by your subconscious who's telling you, oh no, you shouldn't be doing that. Because your subconscious or your ego, whatever you want to call that, is trying to keep you in where you are right now. But if you want to achieve a new goal, you have to do something different from what you have done in the past. And therefore you need to reprogram yourself every single day. It's not just like, oh, just, I have a new goal and I'm just going to go for it. No, you're going to have to take that purposeful action of putting that into your mind every single moment again and again. And that way you're going to feel that change on a deep level. And then all the actions will come as a result of that deep change that you've been going through. A visualization is so strong, guys. Visualization is incredibly strong. I want to point this out. There has been a study done with basketball players that there were 500 basketball players and they were all shooting hoops, and they counted how many of the hoops they would actually hit, and then they cut the percentage of it. Then they divided the groups in two, and one group went for a month long into the basketball court to shoot hoops for 30 minutes every single day. The second group, they went into the basketball court, but they didn't touch a ball. All they did is visualize themselves shooting those hoops for 30 minutes per day. And after a month, they calculated how much more hoops they were able to shoot. The first group that was actually practicing had an increase of 24% in their hoops shot. The second group, what do you think? How many hits do you think they would have? Visualization. Just by visualization. Just by visualizing, they had a 23% increase. Almost the same as the first group who was actually training. And so it explains to us that our power of visualization is just as strong as actually doing something. And if you don't notice that right away, that is just because it's just a muscle that you need to train as well. And when you train that muscle more and more, you'll notice that you'll get better at visualizing it and getting the emotion connected to it. And that's when you actually start making a change. So the work is not done in the actual work of sitting behind your computer, working out your business or going to do that workout all the time. First, it starts with the mindset shift that you need to make, and then things start to happen more and more easily every single time, every single day. I've done this with my workouts. I'm working out 5 days a week. I've done this with my business. I've done this with relationships, focusing on what is it exactly that I want to create in my relationship, and then things start turning, things start happening. And so things will start happening for you too. So what I want to ask you to do is I want you to share a video in the Brotherhood, sharing with us what is your obstacle, what is it that you don't want, and so how, and what are the thoughts, what are the things that you're going to be putting into your mind every single day so that you can focus yourself on the things that you do want and feel the energy and feel the vibration of the things that you do want. Share a video because that's already doing it, right? And you're inspiring other men to do the same. So enjoy this process, and I want to invite you to join also the webinar that we're having on the 25th of October. Put it in your calendar. In the comments below, I'll put a link to where you can sign up for this webinar. And in this webinar, we're going to go into even more detail. You're not just going to be watching me telling you stuff. We're actually going to be doing exercises together so that you can break through your limitations and break through your barriers and really feel deeply inside of you how it is to break through, to feel something different, and to feel that purposefulness and the desire towards your goal, and not feel those obstacles anymore, just breaking through completely. So I want to see you there. Let me know if you're in by putting in the comments below, yeah, I'm coming, I'm in. And really looking forward to doing this with you. And I'm looking forward to hear from you what are the results that you're creating with all these techniques that you're getting here. So sending you a lot of love. It's Ruben here saying, Aho.